Hello, hi everyone, welcome to Cloud Sprint. In the last video, I covered the basics of compute, the types of compute, and we also did a small case study to create a compute. If you have not watched that, link is in the description. Do watch that as well. This video will be more around understanding the type of compute options we have, like these four. We'll also understand when to use what. And once we understand that, we'll also be doing this case study where we'll create a VM with scratch and understand the options available. The GPU is a concept which is pretty new and very relevant to the exam. So stay tuned with the video. The first thing we need to understand today is the machine family resources and comparison. GCP provides us four types of machines to use. The first one is general purpose. It's mainly used for the best price performance ratio for a variety of workloads. Then we have compute optimized. When you need a better CPU performant jobs, then you'll be using compute optimized. When you need a memory hungry processes, memory intensive workloads you want to run, we use memory optimized VMs. And then we have GPUs. If you want to run some ML high performance computing, then we go ahead with GPUs, which is called accelerator optimized. So these four type of machines we have. While creating a machine, you remember this is one of the decisions which we have to make, that what is the purpose of this VM. These four are the options which we must be aware of before we create VMs. Moving on. Now coming to the machine family and series recommendations. This is one of the pages which you must bookmark and use while planning your resources. Here is the workload types. First is general purpose workload. Second is optimized workload. General purpose comes under E2, N2, TT2, T2A. These are the general purpose machines. Then you have very optimized workloads, which is specific to your need. As we mentioned, when you want some memory intensive process, when you want more CPU, when you want GPU, so you'll be going with optimized workloads. It also has some recommendation, like for day-to-day computing at a lower cost, you will be using E2. For balanced price performance across wide range of machine types, you'll be using N1, N2. Use cases are also mentioned here, like for web serving, app serving, back office, databases, microservices, virtual desktops. E2 stands the best. N1, however, also serves the same purpose. It's just that it is also a little better for media, streaming, cache and all. E2 is a better candidate when you are using it for shorter time, and N1, N2 is a good candidate when you are running it for more than 24 hours or for some regularly for more than 12 hours. Okay, so if you are creating infrastructure on demand for few hours, go with E2. But if you need it for like for full week or full month, this is your candidate. Okay, same goes with T2, T2A and T2D. When you have large scale Java microservices, when you have containerized microservices, and you want best performance versus cost for scale out workloads, then you go with scale out optimization. Generally our use cases falls between these two categories. Then coming to optimized workloads, then we have memory optimized. You have a need to run medium large OLAP in memory database such as SAP HANA, electronic design automation, then you'll be using memory optimized. You could also have situations like when you want to run compute optimized workloads, high performance web serving, gaming servers, ad servers. These all are CPU hungry processes. High performance computing, then we'll go with compute optimized. And same when you want to use ML training interfaces, then you choose GPUs. Okay, so I hope these categories are clear now. So before creating the machine, it must be very clear that what kind of workload you're going to create it for. Once that question is clear, it's very easy to choose either of these. You may also compare the machines in this table itself, where you'll get to know that what are the CPU types. If you're interested in that detail, just quickly covering it, how many CPUs you'll be getting, okay, what kind of CPU definition it is, what is the maximum memory you'll be getting in these series, what is available, what is not available. You can just quickly compare it and you can filter it if you need to compare something. Suppose you just want want to know CPU types, all the memory ones. Okay, so you got all the CPU types and the memory information only. So a memory intensive application, you know where to go, and this is the maximum GB of memory you'll be getting. So which is, you know, that out of these three candidates, M1 to M3, which is my, what is my need, how much memory of GB of memory I need, and then you can choose either you'll go for M1, M2, M3. These kind of these decisions you can make. I hope that is clear now. Now coming to GPUs. So yeah, the last category is the GPUs. So GPUs are generally used to accelerate the workloads. You can attach GPU to VMs using the N1 series or the A2 machine series. So it is not available everywhere, and it is not available in every region also. While creating it, you'll get to know that. Quickly revising it, we have four type of machine families: general purpose, compute, memory, and accelerator optimized, which is GPUs. And we have, depending on our workload type, we can choose between E2, N2, TAU, T2D, T2A, or M3 to M2, C2 to A2. GPU regions and zones are really important concept. Why? Because you're not gonna find GPUs everywhere. Okay, you might have specific need for versions of the which GPU model you want to use. So you need to first of all understand which location it is available. So if you want to check where it is in Europe, you'll select Europe, and then you'll say that okay, I need T4. In this, it is available with only these zones. The point is that always be sure before planning your GPUs, because you're not going to get it everywhere. Suppose if you come to APAC zone and you choose more models, suppose V100. Okay, so T4 V100 P100 is only available in Asia S1C. That means that if you need this kind of GPUs, you need to provision your VM in this zone, not anywhere else. If you do it, you won't get GPUs. So always be sure that yours this planning already in place before you go and provision your infrastructure. Let's go ahead and do the case study to understand it. The case study in this video is around creating a virtual machine with below configuration, name, machine family should be E2 standard 2. We want to install Apache on this VM by creating a sample HTML file, and this should happen automatically. I don't have to do anything manually. The next requirement is remotely connecting to the instance via Cloud Shell and confirm if Apache is installed or not. This is the step one. Once we'll do it, step two will be editing the configuration. Okay, so there's a requirement. Suppose that you want to change the machine type from E2 standard 2 to N1 standard 4. Can you do that? We'll figure that out. The last requirement is to attaching a GPU of T4 family and then start the VM. First part is around creating something and running Apache over it. Second part is about making changes to that existing and running VM, and how do we do that. Let's go ahead and do it at the console. For this, first of all, I'll click on create a VM, or you can go to compute engine and then click on VM instance and create instance. I have already covered the basics in the first video, so I'll be covering the case study for now. This is the name. Reason could be just default. Let's not change it. Now you see, this is what I was talking about at the start of the video. This is a general purpose. These are the family types. This is the first generation. This is the second generation machines for general purpose. Then we have compute optimized, which is for high performance compute intensive workloads. If you need memory optimized, you will use memory optimized. If you use GPU, you will use GPU. For now, the requirement is to create a E2 standard 2 machine. E2, so I'll say that, okay, let's choose E2 standard 2 machines. No GPU for now. After choosing this, the third requirement is to install Apache. For this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the startup script. Startup script is basically you want to run something when your system boots up or restarts. Startup scripts can be used to install softwares and updates and to ensure that services are running within the virtual machine. So that is the requirement. I want to install Apache. Once the machine is getting created, it should install Apache as well before it makes it available for me. For this, simple script will do. So what I'm saying, apt update, which will update the OS, and then I'm saying install Apache. I'm creating a simple index.html, which is Linux startup script, added directly. So this message should be there. Once I have provided a startup script, so I'm creating an E2 standard machine with this name and installing the Apache. That's the ask. So without a delay, I'll click on create. You may see the machine is available now. The next step is we need to remotely connect to the instance via Cloud Shell and confirm if Apache is installed correctly or not. In the last video, we understood that how to connect it via browser, but this time I'll go ahead and connect via Cloud Shell. For this, you need to click here. It will activate your session. So what it is doing, it is again transferring your keys to Cloud Shell, creating a small VM for you. Cloud Shell is a very big topic. I'll have a separate video on it because it's not very relevant to the exam, but it's important for you to understand while you work with GCP. Perfect, it's available now. With the first thing, I want to check who is the author. It is asking me to authorize. Again, I'll pass my password. You can see my account pushkar@cloudsprint.in is the active account, which means I have logged in. Once you're done with your key setup, you need to connect to the VM. Okay, now you're authorized to connect to this project VMs. So I'll write a command called gcloud compute ssh and the VM name. Once you hit enter, okay, let me transfer the key, asking for my password. Yes, the key is transferred. It is updating the metadata. That was the default one. So now it is setting my project metadata, SSH metadata to US West 4 because that's where my current VM is. Perfect. So I'm inside the VM now. Okay, so now I'm inside the VM and I want to check that Apache was installed or not. For that, I want to verify my pwd, which is root. So I'll go to cd/var/www. There's a index file, so I'll just click. So this is what I had added the comment. So you can see that this VM is created, Apache is installed, and the HTML file is also created. We verified it. That's how you create a VM. You connect it via Cloud Shell. Okay, I'm closing the session for now and we'll move to the second part of the video. Now suppose the requirement changed and I have to change the machine family from E2 standard to N1 standard 4. How can I do it? For that, I will open the VM first of all. Once you open the VM, you will see that edit button. For now, you cannot change anything. So you'll click on the edit button. This is really important for exam again. When you click on edit, there are many things which you cannot change. Okay, you cannot change the zone. It's read only. You cannot change the name. You cannot change the machine type. Okay, while the machine is running, you cannot change the machine type. You cannot change the network. You can change network tags. Okay, you can change few options like you want to keep disk. You can add a disk. You can attach a disk. Okay, apart from that, you can't change much. That's the thing which you need to understand, that you cannot change it. If the machine is running, it is in running state, you cannot change many things. Now the ask is to change the process machine type from E2 standard 2 to N1 standard 4. So I'm gonna stop the machine now. I'll click here, I click on stop the machine now. Once you hit the stop button, it will stop the VM, and once it is done, that the status becomes stopped, we'll again hit edit and try to change things. Cool, now you can see the instance status is stopped. I'll again hit on edit. Now if you go back, you can change many things, okay? Because the machine is stopped now. Now you can go ahead and change many things. You can change service accounts, you can change everything what you need to what needs to be done on the restart level. Our ask is to edit the configuration type to N1 standard for the first requirement. So I'll go ahead and change N1 standard 4. Okay, and also attach a GPU N1 standard 4. I've chosen it, I'll save it. Now you can see your machine type is N1 standard 4. It is saved. I'll again start it. Once you start the machine, it will boot up with N1 standard 4 now. The main concept to learn here is that if you want to change something in your machine configuration, you need to stop the VM if you are working with unmanaged instances. Okay, you cannot increase the memory or change the CPU, change the machine family type, change the service account while the VM is running. It has to be stopped and then you can edit the configurations. You can only change things like some firewall rules, network tags, or some disk policies. That's it. That's the one thing I wanted to explain in this video. The second part is attaching a GPU. So GPUs are mainly, as we already discussed, GPUs are mainly for machine learning and ML for training your ML pipelines. When you work with big data technologies, this is a very common ask. So we are gonna add a NVIDIA T4 and then start the VM, attach a GPU. Again, I'll click on edit. So once I click on edit, I cannot change it again. Already discussed. So I'm going to stop it. And then again come back to edit page quickly. Clicked on edit. And here I'll go to GPU now. Last time we changed the machine type as we were asked in this step. Now we're going to attach a GPU of NVIDIA T4. Let's go ahead and click on GPU. Let's say NVIDIA T4, N1 standard 4. Okay, and save. When you're adding GPUs, you can migrate on host maintenance. It is a concept which I'll be explaining in the later videos. But for now, let's say that terminate VM instance and upgrade it, save it. Now you can see the ask was to have N1 standard 4 with attached GPU NVIDIA T4. You can confirm here. We have N1 standard 4, okay, running with NVIDIA T4, which is just one of the GPUs. Okay, you just hit start. Once you start the VM, you're good to go. That concludes our case study. Thank you for watching the video so far. If you're still with the video, which means you have liked the content, so subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for such videos. I'm gonna make a lot of content around GCP, DevOps, and SRE, so security. I also do regular podcasts with technology leaders. So stay tuned. See you in the other video. Thanks for watching.